the trick was to refine the message and to make the language clear enough so that people could understand. And when they did understand, they would believe because they could see it, right? So that's our challenge, I think, with your work. And maybe this is part of what Russell Blake has done. In other words, you talked about translation and language.
He didn't. He translated into an academia standardized form, but it's still for what we'll refer to as the housewife or the parent. It's not going to. I can't even. He translated my work. It's all based on my work. I am unable to read it. Isn't that a pie in the face? It's very frequent that, in fact, it's almost 100% of the case that after I teach physicists, engineers, professors my work, it'll go right over my head, their applications and uses as they explain it back to me. It's kind of like an offering and a special gift to see people be freed and able to pursue in new ways their profession.
Right.
And that's what this is. It's kind of like simply put, it's a tool. And if you can create a better, more effective tool, you wipe out the competition. Because we all, have the same resources brought to bear. And if you can find a quicker, faster way and more effective way, then you're going to be on top. And that's what this is. The problem is, for me, is that I have tried too hard with this work. In reality, all my discovery is I found that the multiplication table that we all learned as kids isn't flat, that it is a donut, and that it's a language, that the Cartesian coordinate system XYZ can be modeled in a completely different way, the cartography of the Earth, everything. It's called the underpinning geometry of the universe, and that's what I found. And the thing is in reality, my work is so simple, but what I've done is I've gone to exhaustive exertions to present it, to decipher and answer the riddles to very difficult mathematical problems and scientific problems in medicine and stuff, not because that was an interest of mine, but only because if I was going to demonstrate the authenticity of my work and that it had a veracity that under any microscope could hold up. But the truth is that my work has been heavily over-encumbered with all these scientists, and I have, it is a miracle in my life that I have some of the finest scientists recognized worldwide endorsing my work and applying it. But in reality, they weren't who I did this work for. And I only jumped through those hoops with them so that I could then have the means and resources wherewith then I could create a simple popular book, a simple movie, a simple thing that would be more full of enthusiasm and incitement for children, for high school, for elementary school children, because when they learn my work, they are so edified because it allows them to get a grip on reality. Because that's what I found. I found the secret of reality.
Yeah, you've got a video that you sent to me. You sent me the link to it in email just before we went on the program, actually, and I was able to watch about 15 minutes of it, and it's amazing. And the depth of stuff that you cover just in the short period of time that I was watching is outrageous. And I'm sure that young people, when they're exposed to this stuff, must just eat it up. I mean, because it's just remarkable. And knowing the way children are, I have one of my own. I'm sure it's amazing to see what they do when they're in your presence.
And that's the thing, is it's still me teaching it, and I'm trying to preserve it in digital format so that I can step aside and the work will survive without me. And, I'd love to do a full budget film or something like that, and I don't see that coming my way. Very few people are familiar with my work. Yourself, you've given me incredible recognition, but I honestly will be surprised if I ever get to present it using multimedia the way that it would be blow away, the way that children could really...
Well, you never know, Marko. You never know. Never say never. We'll see. But, if I tell you what, you just never know. So We'll do our best, and I think, let's see, we've got 5 minutes or so before we take a break. Before we get too much further into it, let's talk really quickly about the discovery and about the patterns that we're going to be chatting about.
Well, I'll preface it with this. Mathematics, numbers are considered to be, wasn't it in Alice in Wonderland that she was soaking wet from swimming in her own tears, and then she came across, I forget what that bird was, but to get her clothes dry, the bird recited history, and it was so dry that her clothes, as he kept on reciting, instantly became no longer wet. The math is considered a very, very bland subject, and so I'll preface it with this. A level of a civilization is never more advanced than its mathematics. The mathematics that we use today for travel, communication, energy is in the Dark Ages. And essentially, I've found what would be a good analogy?
Well, a tool to drag us out of the Dark Ages.
Well, the Pandora's box of infinite energy. And I obsolete petroleum, I obsolete nuclear. My most crudest coil for motors was tested by Hewlett-Packard and verified to be getting double the output compared to the present-day standard electrical coil.
And again, people, this is all documented and right there for you to see. I mean, it's amazing. And this was just a very rudimentary thing that was manufactured in your garage or something like that.
I predicted mathematically that if you wound a coil using this unique design that you would have a much greater output of the inductance. Now, these coils, a normal person would have patented it, would have tried to commercialize it. And that's where I've kind of taken this discovery, for a trip, for a fall. Because I don't feel safe trying to do anything more than either preserve it, document it. Once that's done, then I'd be willing to commercialize it, make it, and apply it to other applications. The reason I don't feel safe to try and pursue the patenting, privatization, proprietary trade secret knowledge ownership approach is because when I made the discovery in the same year I was selected, the very same year that I found it, my first presentation I ever gave in my life on this topic was at the biggest United States Aerospace Convention.
That's right.
George Bush Sr. introducing the convention. Everybody was there, the Chinese, the Russians, the French. You had the Concorde. You had it was...
Marko, 1989? When was it?
88.
88, okay. All right.
And they gave me the Defense Science magazine said I had, which is the biggest United States military publication, said I had the most revolutionary propulsion device ever discovered. And they put me under power and propulsion. I was on the same platform as Boeing Electronics and General Atomic. I was started at the top. And I'm not saying something bad about any of these people. The problem is that my goal was not
same as their goal,
and to create a monopoly or exclusivity or get a leverage over anybody. My goal is just to show and share how profound this discovery is that there's another way to comprehend existence.
All right. Well, Marko, I commend you, and you're sharing it again tonight, and we're going to keep sharing it and keep working on clarifying the message and hope people understand it and run with it. I mean, that's the thing. It is a gift, and it's as simple as that. It's beautiful, and I think